Magic. People do not understand that in order for so-called magic to work, it must manifest inside the confines of the laws of this, the material world. Nothing can magically appear in front of your eyes without it obeying the laws of reality, a watered-down version of which is presented to the public as the laws of physics. For example, if I am sitting in a room full of people and I wish a coin to manifest by my feet, something must have happened in the past for that coin to be there. Excluding the obvious one of myself having put it there, it could have dropped out of someone's pocket and rolled there. Someone else might have placed it there, or something peculiar must have occurred. What you know for certain did not happen was that the coin did not materialize out of thin air. That defies the laws of material reality. A person who is developing a ritual will find out precisely how to do this in order to fool the public. Once this procedure has been perfected, then and only then can the ritual be repeated. If all of the major components are included and repeated precisely, 100% of the time, the public will be fooled. Thus a coin can manifest or appear to at the feet of a magician who has performed this ritual. The non-thinking person will believe that this is done via magical means, thus dismissing the guts of it all completely. These people are looking very hard for reasons to maintain the power of the ritualized spell that has just been cast upon their minds. A victim must love what has been done to him, just as a slave must love its servitude and believe that no other life is possible for them. It can work no other way. Until a person frees their mind from the magic that controls it, they will forever be under the control of someone's spell, whether they are aware of it or not being completely irrelevant. In fact, most spells work only when the public, the victim, is unaware. We are moved, manipulated, and controlled by powerful forces who very clearly understand the nature of ritual, magic, and sacrifice. You, however, do not. I seek to alleviate this restriction. Magic is no joke. Only your understanding of it is. Ritual is no joke. Human sacrifice is no joke. Let me give you another example of ritual, this time pertaining to the latter, human sacrifice. Afterwards, you will have a slightly more realistic concept of what ritualistic human sacrifice is, though here I give you only a small portion of the whole. Do not react to it when it is finished. Just take some time to think. For this is the reason why I chose it as an example. The setting: a sailing ship at sea in the mid-1600s. A storm comes upon it. Under full sail, the mast cracks off, falls into the water, taking a crewman with it. The mast and sail is dragging the ship, which will soon become swamped and overturn with all hands sure to be lost. In order to appease the gods, a human sacrifice must be made. They cut the ropes holding the mast, freeing the ship, but killing the man who quickly drowns. The gods are appeased, and the remains of the ship and crew survive. Perception? Just a different way of looking at it. As always with real truth, there is much more to it than what appears on the surface. Still waters run deep. The deep waters can hide much. In fact, it hides everything of real importance and every trace of real power. I chose this example because the practicality involved in it. It creates a schism in the mind of the listener who now perceives two ways of looking at this event, one which is based in practicality and one which is based in a very different outlook. One perceives that the poor seaman was merely in the wrong place at the wrong time. Another perceives something very different. Which way do you think that the elite perceive it, keeping in mind that they rule the world and they are few, and that, by definition, states that they do not perceive the world through the common man's eyes, but hold a worldview that is very different from yours. Else the masses would rule, and the elite would be the slaves. What's that? You are not a slave? Really? The listener who scoffs and blows off the ritualistic human sacrifice in this event does so because, as a child, he has had a ritual performed upon him, and now, no matter what, he will never take the concepts of ritualistic human sacrifice to appease the gods seriously. He believes that he's doing this of his own volition, but he's doing it because at a young age he was programmed to do it via a ritual carried out by knowing participants, writers, actors, who knew full well the real reasons for the book, movie, TV, programming, schooling, and who also knew that the victim, the poor sod, will never get it. Get it? Understand that the elite rule us and always have. Their ancestors have ruled us back through time. In other words, those who rule us today are the direct descendants of those who ruled us thousands of years ago. You do not know that because you have had a magical spell cast upon your mind via the mass, mandatory mental programming of all children, including you. There is to be, quote, no child left behind, unquote. Where have you heard those words before? Now you have more to think about. Rituals are carried out on you quite often. You don't think so? Rituals in human history. The Nazi Holocaust. Look up the word as it was defined during World War II and before. Later on, definitions were added. Did you look up the old definition of Holocaust? The definition that was used prior to the end of World War II? No? From the New Century Dictionary, 1931. Holocaust. An offering or sacrifice devoted wholly, without reservation of parts, to burning. Hence anything offered or sacrificed unreservedly, as to a person, entirely consumed by fire, like the self-begotten bird, the phoenix. What is the phoenix, or phoenix? It is the sunbird. It consumes itself in flame, and from its ashes is reborn. Just another way of saying ordo ab chao, yet this is not complete. What is the definition of a sacrifice? From the Dictionary of Mysticism and Occult, page 228, quote, sacrifice, an offering made to a deity upon an altar, performed to ritually placate the god and to offer blood, which is symbolic of life force. Some magicians, priests, believe that the ritual slaughter releases life energy, which can be tapped magically and used to attune the god invoked, and may become the scapegoat for the infringements by members of that group, unquote. Can you think of any other major rituals carried out on the populace, perhaps one that has been carried out in your lifetime? Here's a clue, quote, cleft like that of Zeus to permit wisdom in the form of Athena to emerge therefrom, unquote. Too vague a clue? Focus on the word emerge. What did you see emerge? Can you define a ritual now? For the more serious rituals, clocks are used. A leader is necessary. Those being programmed can only listen. They can never actively participate, doing only as they are told. This is your radio. This is your child's school. This is your church. This is your living room. What is a ritual? What is programming? Do not understand? Do you ever wonder why you do not? Yet I'm sure you can better answer the question now. I am Ben Dragon. Tomorrow will be a better day if you take steps to ensure it. Until then, be well.